Yes, my good people, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. Welcome back once again to the Blue Morning Show, specifically another match preview on Chelsea perspective. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're sleeping blue, eating blue, and overall waking up blue and living the blue life. Thank you so much once again. I appreciate you all. I cannot thank you enough for the growth of the channel. And here we have, let's go from my bro Briani Rahayu. I appreciate you, brother. Always the first to join these days. And with that, what comes to mind is my brother Liam. Liam, if you're watching, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're recovering as quick as possible. Thank you so much for always being the man you've been and all the support I've gotten from you. And my bro, a big up coach and chat, Glenn. Glenn, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for also finding the time to join in the show. That goes a long way for the channel. Appreciate all the support. And JC, my bro, JC says a big up, coach. How are you feeling today? A lot better. But as you can see, if you listen to me, you'd still see yeah, it still affected my voice a bit, but I can still speak. It's just that it sounds like I'm using, should I say, auto tune or something? Pardon me, I have to take a sip of my coffee so I don't lose my voice. I hope you're all doing well. Yo, it's match day. Yep, it's match day indeed. Silly bun. I hope you're doing well. It's match day indeed. Hopefully, we'll make it four in a row. And I'm going to keep repeating myself whenever I say, whether you like Graham Potter or not, Chelsea is the entity we're supporting. Whoever that is the manager, we support the person. Whoever plays for us, we support the person, them, if that makes sense. Yeah, here we go. Rahayu says, "Yo, wow, coach, you look so much fresher today. Yep, a lot of rest. A rest can go a long way. I think we missed 2 days. Yep, and you know, with common cold, you need a rest. Excuse me, you need a lot of rest for it to go away. Without rest, it gets worse. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. Not doing well at all today, coach. Mount stuff has me messed up as is the reaction of the fan base. To be honest, disgusting indeed. It is concerning. Um, and I'm not sure how to react to it really. I'm not sure how to react to the Mount situation. Okay, he has a new. Is it agent or what's it called? Not really agent. What's the term used for it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to start linking him with a move to Liverpool, even if that's the case. Even if you don't want him, leave him alone. Give him a break. Even if he decides to leave, it's his business. He's the one, he's the player here. I don't know what else to say about that. And I don't really do not want to, I sincerely do not want to bother my life with it. If he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. And I've long before now, even from a month before, realized there's a big chance he's more likely to leave than stay, even before it became clear that that may well be the case. And that's business for all parties involved. He wants to get paid well. If that's in fact the problem, the stumbling block with regards to the negotiation, that's him. He's the one that does the job. If the club feels like he's not worth what he's asking, that's your business. We don't know what's going on there. The fact we have to come to the realization if they don't come to an agreement, he ends up leaving, which is natural. It happens when you don't come to an agreement in business. All parties move, move on. Mount stuff has messed me up. As I in the reaction, yeah, I've read that fan base. It's disgusting indeed. Nice hot tea. Way to go. Yeah, I it is coffee actually because it is 4:57 a.m. for me. It's actually 4:57 a.m. That's because daylight saving, or what's it called? Time went up 1 hour more ahead for me. So yeah, but thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Morning up, just morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Why did you ignore my comment? Well, I didn't see it, so probably went away. This one, oh, okay. Apologies, bro. It wasn't intentional. Big up. Thoughts on Mount leaving. Here's the thing. Since you want me to talk about it, uh, I don't know what to say. I'm just going to talk about it from the perspective that it is business for all parties involved. Some say he's asking a certain amount of money, which is not my freaking business. He has every right to ask whatever salary he feels like, measures the amount of work he does for Chelsea. And boy, he deserves it. He's the least earner in the team, and he's won the Champions League with us. He's won the Club World Cup. He's won one more, the European Super Cup. So did why did we leave it that late? I don't know. It's concerning. This is no different from the case of Rudiger and what's his name, Andreas Christensen. Players are human beings, and it's like I'm going to repeat myself again. I don't know how many times I've said this since this particular show started. It is business for all parties involved, as much as it is business for the club. As much as it is business for the club, it is business for the players as well. So the club wants to make money, the player wants to make money, and they don't last forever. The club will outlast the players. So the players, they need to earn as much money as they can, have a brighter future, if that makes sense. So I would have loved him to stay if the possibility was there. But since it doesn't work out, if he leaves, that's fine. And here's the thing I've said before. The Mount's greatest problem at Chelsea is that he hasn't had managers that really coached him. He had Frank Lampard, he had Thomas Tuchel, both of whom value the amount of running and the pressing his industry. Again, overall, the pressing he does, the amount of running he does on the pitch, than what he's actually capable of. You could say they don't look beyond that, but Mount is actually capable of doing more. Yeah, but because Lampard liked the amount of running he does, Tuchel did the same. That Tuchel had to even play him until he became mentally tired. He kept playing him even when it was clear he needed a break. He kept playing him until at some point it was clear that he was mentally tired. That was the only time Tuchel decided he needed to rest him. Mount could have learned more from Thomas Tuchel had Thomas Tuchel looked beyond Mount's industry and realized he was still a young player. And the same thing goes to Chelsea fans. How old is Mount right now? The most is 24, which means he's still young. But when he was still 23, 22, 21, he needed a lot of coaching. And the coaches we had didn't do that. The only time he had good coaching was when he went on loan to the Dutch league. So if that makes sense. So to me, my argument isn't whether he's a good player or not. I know he's capable of producing more than he's showing. He's capable of doing more than just run on the pitch. But unfortunately for him, he's been stereotyped, and usually it's not difficult to get away from that. So for me, I would want him to go to a club where the manager will realize he still has a lot to learn. He's a young player, and believe me, Mount can do better than he's done for us. And unfortunately for him, when he was scoring goals, helping us get winning goals against Real Madrid, the winning goal against Wolves, lots of the people that were against him now probably celebrated. That's an unfortunate situation. But one thing I would like to say, do I think he's the best player at Chelsea? No. Do I think he's the worst player at Chelsea? No. Do I think he should be earning more than he's earning right now? Oh, yeah. And it's been wrong, but I don't know why they didn't try to renew his contract earlier on. But that's by the way. And I had to go back to get that one, but bear this in mind. I can't get everything you have on the in the chart, if that makes sense. But I missed that one by mistake. And you have to remember, I'm a human being too. A friend of mine has said the agent is better in dealing with image rights. What the problem is at the moment with Mount. A lot of people are saying, yeah, that's the case. Some are saying the problem is really with the length of the contract, which makes sense. And I don't blame him if he's trying to get a shorter contract so that he has the future, again, whatever happens in the future in his own hands. Because if he signs a long-term contract, he'd be tied down for around 6-7 years. So I'm not blaming Mount for what he's asking the club. I have other issues with regards to where his career is today. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation. And unfortunately, right now, if he goes to Liverpool, I think what they value the most is his industry also, and wouldn't take the time to coach him to make him to become an even better player. Temi Dio says, greetings, coach, and everyone. Been a while, and I hope you're doing well, Temi Dio. Nice to see you. Please do let me know. Hazard and Drogba weren't built out of the club. That's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. You need, therefore, is that a medicine? Okay, okay, maybe I'll try that. Graham is bigger than the club. He's bigger than the club because whatever that man does, nobody cares. Do you think really? But I get where you're coming from. Chelsea shouldn't allow Mount. Wow, I guess your phone helped you spell this one. It happens to all of to the best of us actually. The smartphone thinks they know what you're trying to say and helps you spell it. Um, it shouldn't. No, Glenn, I haven't highlighted the comment, your last comment, but I know you were joking. I know you quite well, brother, and I enjoy talking with you. Chelsea shouldn't allow Mount to go. He might not be informed now. He might not be informed now. What of tomorrow? Remember his age. More importantly, unfortunately for us, most Chelsea fans don't look at the age of the players. For instance, Ethan Ampadu is just 22. But if you put up a poll now and ask Chelsea fans, what should the club do with Ethan Ampadu? Chances are more than 40% will say sell him. Yeah. But the problem is these kids, all of them, from Mount to Reece James to who again, even Conor Gallagher, some of them, even the guy we sold, one of my favorite young talents at Chelsea, Billy Gilmore, who I always argue is a mashup of a defensive midfielder and a regista, and that is rare, really. He would have been a good replacement for Jorginho because Enzo isn't Jorginho. Enzo is a different type of player, if that makes sense. Uh, if you look at it, because they've been there, because they emerged onto the scenes early in their life, early in their careers, like 1917. Some of them, for instance, the case of Callum Hudson-Odoi, he emerged onto the scenes at the age of 17, and he's still 22. That's why I wouldn't even advise the club to sell him. He's still a very young player. Some people, for instance, the case of Didier Drogba, he became as popular as he's at the age of 26 or so. And when did Mendy became that popular? If you, yeah, if you want to look at it, but unfortunately for us, because they played so many games, we've heard about them for 2-3 years in a row. I bet you if you call some Chelsea fans and ask them how old is Sam Pardew, some of them will say 24, 25, but he's just 22. Callum Hudson-Odoi is also just 22. So yeah, unfortunately, our fan base, they don't consider the player's age. I heard a panelist mention Gallagher is the carbon copy of Mount. The coach shared this view. The only thing they have in common is energy. The energy, you could say, their industry, the amount of running they do on the pitch. That's what they have in common. Mason Mount, for me, is more technically gifted. Yeah, that's from the little I've seen them. I observed Gallagher quite well when he played for Crystal Palace. Yeah, I think they have what they have in common is their industry, the amount of running they do on the pitch. They're tireless. They could go for 190 minutes and still be running. Even when they are in bad form, you can still get some good running from them. Bad form in terms of their final decision making and all that. But yeah, Gallagher, I think if you play him close to the final third, he's capable of getting you more goals than Mason Mount will. Maybe there's more to his game that we don't know, but the whole thing comes to, I think, the biggest issue with these players, they don't get a lot of coaching, teaching them, realizing that they're still young. And in the case of Mason Mount, like I've argued, it's difficult now to correct that, to take, should I say, a corrective path in the sense that probably he may well be feeling like he's won it all. He's won the Champions League, the Super Cup, and also the Club World Cup. So probably don't think he has anything else to learn. That's why his case is difficult. But I don't blame him. He's in a poor run of form, and unfortunately for him, Chelsea fans, when that happens, you're not good enough for Chelsea anymore. Mount was drained from playing too much. Yeah, that argument makes sense, especially under Thomas Tuchel. We scored 3 to have clean sheet. Are you talking about the game today? Ghana Charleston, I hope you're doing well. Francis Winters, big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. And please, if you're watching, if you haven't, do take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes go a long way. We have just 18 likes right now. We should be doing better than that, people. Come on, keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all your support. It does go a long way. Coach, do you see him fitting more at Newcastle, they will also pay him more. Um, if he goes to Newcastle, probably lots of responsibilities. He's the one. He will be the one that have won the most there. Probably more respect for him than he's gotten from Chelsea, even from the fan base. I think they will take him in a heartbeat. More respect for him, but I still want Mount to go to a place. And maybe Eddie Howe is the guy. He needs to go to a place where the manager will realize he's still a young player and needs a lot of coaching. I think Mount can do better than we give him than we realize he's capable of doing. But every now and then I trust we see flashes of what he's capable of doing. But I'm still going to go back to, do I think he's the best player at Chelsea? No. Do I think he's the worst? No. My argument is that Mount should be doing better than he's doing now. And he is, again, his development probably seems to have been stagnated due to managers not realizing he's just a young player and needs a lot of coaching. But probably they prefer the amount of running he does, which is not a bad thing. He has that, but he can be better than just be the pressing merchant some people call him. Unfortunately, yeah, I understood that, bro. Mount was offered 180K a week a year by Abramovich, but he rejected it. If he had accepted it, he would have negotiated for a bigger salary now. If anything, let me make something clear to you. If anything, he's in a better position to earn more money somewhere else than Chelsea are willing to pay him. So, yes, you think players actually, if you give them the opportunity to live on a free, they take it. If that makes sense. I don't know how to explain that. My concern now is we repeat the mouth-watering record of 2012 and 2021 in the ongoing Champions League. Critics need to be silenced, and we need a great performance for that. And here's the thing. I think, like I said after the draw, the preparation for the Champions League game against the quarterfinal showdown against Real Madrid starts now. Now is the time to start trying out things he feels like it's going to work. And once he finds I've been about 2 games or so, probably from today, to pick the players out, pick the team to start find a formula with which, if he employs on the day, then would beat Real Madrid, if that makes sense. But let's see what happens. We need to silence the critics overall, so I agree with you. That too, 4 in Champions League this season, we died there. Okay, let's see what happens. That top 4, maybe, I don't know which is easier now. Hello, coach, and all Constantine Dante, big up, brother. I hope you're doing well. How is everything, coach? I feel a lot more better today, and thank you for asking. Constantine Dante, I think my Jamaican brother, I haven't forgotten where you're from. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're Jamaican, and you've told me that. That's, by the way, let's look at this. This is the game we're here to preview. And here's where something else is where I want us to start that discussion from is the midfield area, because you can call these guys midfielders. 1, 2, 3, Idrissa Gueye, Decore, Onana, those are physicality merchants, if it's anything like that. Are we going to be able to deal with them with Fernandes and Kovacic? I'm not sure, but let's talk about that. If you're in the chat, I want to get your thoughts on how you think we're going to be able to deal with this midfield. And it gets worse because for sure, they will most likely defend deep. 1, 2, 3 of them, those guys talk about physicality. That's what they do. The 2 of our players here, Enzo Fernandez isn't weak, but he and Kovacic, the combo there, I'm not sure how they're going to be able to deal with them. This is just the probable lineup, and this is the most likely 2 players we're going to see start as the 2 6s. I don't know what Graham Potter has to do differently to be able to deal with Decore, Goye, and Onana. It's not going to be an easy task. But that's, by the way. Let's see what else we have here. What is this mount? What is this mount cannot leave? I'm not sure. Did anybody say he cannot leave? He's not. He's not enslaved. He has he has the right to leave if he feels like. But that's, by the way, Mount is another KDB we will regret. Okay, I don't know about comparing him with KDB. I think he's a good player. He's a different profile player than KDB. Let's see what else we have here. Oh wow! Five flight midfield for Everton. That's what they've done predominantly under what Sean Dyche. Yep, I think so. That's bigger than a double-decker bus. Yep, it is. It's not going to be easy. So I want to get your thoughts. I don't know how fit N'Golo Kante is. It would have been perfect to give him a game, start him in this game, or maybe even Zakaria. We need balance here. We do need a serious balance in the midfield area. I'm not sure what the manager is going to do about this. Heights on set piece. Benoit probably edges at this one. Yep, in my YouTube shot predicted lineup, yep, I said to deal with Everton's physicality and aerial threat, Benoit probably has to start here. If not, we're in trouble because Sean Dyche, if you know him too well, he drills his team so well that they hardly everything he coaches, they're dangerous when it comes to set piece and all that. And even not just set piece, aerially they're usually dangerous. I think he prioritizes that over everything else. And physicality is important to him. And boy, he has the tool in the person of Decore, Goye, and Onana. So the question I'm throwing at those of you in the chat, how do we deal with that in the midfield area? I don't think we have anything. And if you look at the attack, it gets worse, really, which means I'm sensing, I don't know, I'm sensing Felix sits out this one. But let's see. What else do we have here? I am glad it's a flat five, not a 3DM. No, you can still call them 3DMs, possibly. You can still call them that. The plan here, this 1-2-3 guys in the midfield in the area. I know Onana attacks, Zakaria attacks, but defensively they do a yeoman's job. They do a lot of good work, frustrating the opponent, and probably I don't see how we're going to be able to deal with this comfortably. But let's continue here. I'm glad it's a flat five, not a flat five, not a 3CM or two DMs. But it depends on how you want to interpret it or the application, or maybe when the game starts, we get to find out of the application and see what they're doing. The Enzo forward sex pass will go through that single line of midfield easily. And yeah, I get it. Easily in the sense that is if they have a high line. Like I told you, they will defend deep and try to hit us on the break. And boy, they have the players they're capable of doing that. Damari Gray, I'm not sure. Let me see if they have. I'm going to look at the players they have out or players they have available. Iwobi is a tricky customer, whether on the flanks or not. I know Frank Lampard played him in the midfield area, and he was very effective for him to a certain extent. But on the flanks, I think is more dangerous because he's still very pacey. McNeil, I'm not sure. I don't know where to talk about his pace. Why isn't Damari Gray in the standing lineup here? Okay? Here's Gray there. Gray also is a fine finisher on his day, but Gray is the least of my concern. My main concern is how are we gonna do here in the midfield area? How are we gonna deal with the physicality of Decore, Goye, and Onana? So if you're on the chat, I want to get your thoughts, whether you think a 3-4-2-1 structure would be the better structure to face them, or do you think the manager should switch it to a different structure for us to be effective against Everton? I really want to know. Not Jamaican, I'm Australian. The Romanian background. Oh, big up. Sorry, apologies for mixing that up, but forgive me, please. I'm sorry about that. Started supporting Chelsea early 90s when Petrescu, Dan Petrescu, yep, that's his first name, was playing. That's a long time ago. So big up to you, much respect. And again, I said my apologies for mixing up where you're from. Maybe you haven't told me. Zakaria needs to be played if we want to win this next game. It's going to be physical, really, indeed physical, with intent. The physical approach from Everton is with intent. And we have set of players that are usually not good at dealing with such physicality from our opposition. So that is an issue for me. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. If we start Kovacic and Fernandez, yeah, I get it. The two of them going forward, they're so good to watch. The combination play between the two of them, even though they haven't played together for a while, it's been excellent. But defensively, they do practically nothing in terms of being able to protect the back three. Because if you're playing with a back three structure, the two sixes, their role is very important. They have to be able to pay attention to when opposition try to hit us on the break. They have to be able to read the game very well to protect the back three. And yeah, that's I get it. Enzo can read the game too, and also can break up a play. But that's not his strongest suit, if you get my point. So I'm not sure how Graham Potter is what he's gonna do, because it looks like he prefer a more fluid, again, 2-6 selection that having one being capable of being a defense, again, more defensively minded, while the other has the independence to venture forward a bit more. He likes them to go forward together and defend together, not charging one of them to be more defensively cautious. To me, that's a huge problem. So let's get your thoughts. I'm waiting to see some of you in the chat to tell me what you think we should do in the midfield area. That midfield against us is more like physicality versus technicality. And what do you think happens? And skill sets. If our midfielders will come out intelligently in their games, I don't see us being intimidated at all. But we know nothing too much has actually changed about this team. We still have Kovacic. He's not the best in terms of dealing with physicality. His strongest suit is to beat the press, find solutions in tight spaces, progress the ball no matter how the opposition presses. But in terms of dealing with physicality, he's not your man. Enzo also, I'm not quite sure, but with time we'll find out whether that's his thing. But I think we need to balance it up a bit. My biggest issue is that Graham Potter is not known to play with anybody close to a DM. He prefers, if we're going by lecturings, he prefers CMs rather than even mixing up with DMs is not his thing. So that becomes an issue for us. Excuse me. You can only be defensive against whom and the ball you see. Okay, that's a good suggestion. But have we gelled that much that it'd be difficult for them to get the ball off of us? We give the ball away so much, given how many changes we've made in the team. So yeah, I get where that's coming from. But have we gelled that well to say we can keep the ball away from them and trying to find a solution in terms of beating their low block, or however you want to phrase it. But I get where that is coming from. Coach, don't you say we will not need to defend today much other than a set piece? Don't you say we will not need to defend today much? Okay, we don't need to defend much today other than set piece. I think you have to do lots of defending. If you watch Everton, even under Sean Dyche, you get a lot of creativity from Gueye. Even Onana, let me just mention their most creative players here. Let's start from Iwobi. He can find good passes. He still has maybe what he learned from Wenger in his little time under him. Damari Gray, he's got to be one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. What he's capable of doing, I don't think a lot of people give him credit for that. So yeah, it is a fine finisher on the day. And because we most likely try to attack them because they drop deep, Damari Gray, when he gets the ball, he's a fine dribbler. And once he's beyond any defense, you'd have to bring him down to stop him. And it's a fine finisher too. So yeah, he's one player, like I said, one of the, you can say, underrated players in the Premier League. So these two guys, I'm concerned. If you're looking beyond set piece, him and Iwobi can do some damage. Even though I don't know Mike Note, that much to say what he's capable of doing. But 1, 2, 3, Gueye on his day can take a good shot outside the box, and Gueye will get the chance to do that today because severally I've seen Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez leaving spaces, leaving spaces for opposition players to exploit outside our 18-yard box. And Damari Gray, he's a fine. He can shoot quite. Gueye, so to speak, can shoot quite well from outside the box. But let's see My concern, more importantly, is the midfield area. But let's see what the manager does today. We're getting there. Let's see what else we have here. All good, coach. Where you from? First name. Sorry, I don't know. Just call me coach at the moment. If I say my name, you're not going to be able to say it. I was born and bred, and I grew up in Nigeria before I moved to the United States. I moved to the United States about 12, 13 years ago or so, but I speak two Nigerian languages fluently. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah. So thank you so much for asking that question. Just call me coach right now, but I appreciate that. Let's see. Um, when you started supporting Chelsea and why? I think I started supporting Chelsea when we had, I think we had Zola. Yep, I remember. I started supporting Chelsea when we had Zola. I remember. But then not too serious until we start having Babayero. He got serious because Babayero, he's Nigerian, so and all that. But the love, like Bobby will say, once the blue ball bites you, you're never turning back. Chelsea is a beloved club. Lots of other reasons why I love the club. The clubs, especially under Roman, what they do beyond football is something most people don't pay attention to. I think I have a video on that. You should go watch it. But thank you for that question. Smash the like button, people, and hit the subscribe if you haven't. And also, if you can afford it, you can become a member for just $2.99 a month. That is only if you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, that's fine. You're still loved here. You're still respected, and your comments are being read. Good day, everyone. Choma, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. We have just 24 likes, people. We can do better than that. So the question I asked you, I don't think a lot of people have answered me. What do we do given this midfield? Three here. Yep, you can call them 1, 2, 3. Goya centrally to his right, Decore, and Onana to his left. These are physicality merchants, if there's anything like that, like I've said. Let's say, what else do we have here? Kuchila, I hope you are feeling better today. I am much, much better, except for, you could sense from, if you pay attention to my voice, you could tell that I had a cold, if that makes sense. But that's, by the way, they call him Ogogoro. Look at Glenn. You haven't forgotten Ogogoro since you heard about it. And by the way, Ogogoro is a Nigerian, a homemade whiskey. Very not easy. If you're probably gonna speed it out if you gulp it. But that's, by the way, if you sip it. But that's, by the way. Let's see what we have here. I'm good. Okay, good to see. And it's Darren England's first official Chelsea game. I'm not sure I understand that. Is it Darren's England's first? So you mean who's Darren? Who in particular? You're talking about a player, I'm guessing, but I want to know who. Yeah, I want to know who. I'm not sure. I understand that. Please, I don't know everything. I hope we win today. I hope we make it 4 games. Oh, the referee. I'm not sure. I'm gonna check. Let me see here. We should have it here. The referee for today. Yep. Darren England. Yep, you're correct. I thought you were talking about a player for England call up. Yeah, the referee today is Darren England. Yep. So good question. Do you like him? Do you have concerns about him? I want to know. Go ahead, elaborate so we can talk about it. Because we've not been lucky with referees, if that makes sense. Where do I have that? I hope I highlighted some comments. And congratulations and thank you to Constantine Dante, our Australian brother. Constantine Dante became a YouTube member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. That will go a long way. And by the way, one of the reasons why we started the membership thing, it's going to help us start the program we're going to be doing every month to support students. As students, I've been there myself. I do me again. Nothing will make me happier than being able to say something, give percentage of whatever the channel makes the students. It will go a long way. But thank you so much, Dante. I appreciate that. I hope we win today. Let's make it 4 in a row. That will go a long way. Oh yeah, we've talked about that. Referee is Darren England. Like I asked the question, do you have any issues with him. I really do want to know. Hopefully, not Anthony Taylor. Oh, his you could say, should I call it? Well, his bad refereeing against Chelsea is well documented. Even the short videos with regards to that. I am a member now, so need to know your name. Look at you. Okay, here's the thing. My first name, I'm going to give you the pronunciation, and I know Chama probably should be able to spell it, and some Nigerians there in the chat should be able to spell it. My first name is Chibreze. Yeah, but most Americans call me Chib, which is the first four letters of my name. So there you go. But I didn't really do that because you remember I had to do that because of the way I knew you weren't serious asking it, but I had to say that. So you brought my first name. Try spelling it if you can. But we move on. Big up, Constantine. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Constantine Dante, checkmate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've said my first name. Try spelling it. I know Chama can. Lots of Nigerians there in the chat will try. Will give it a shot. Some will miss the spelling. I know Chama. Chama, if you didn't get it right, then I would have blocked you. I would have blocked you. Seriously, that's perfectly spelled. That's my first name, how it's spelled. But call me Coach. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let's look at this. Let's look at the insight, how well the two teams have done. Okay, let's look at head-to-head and also the team's recent form. Head-to-head, we've drew again of how many games? 6 draws, 14 wins for us, and 10 wins for them. The disparity there isn't huge. It's just 4 games. In our last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. The last one, August 6th, we beat them away 1-0. I think that was a Kai Havertz goal. I don't remember. Then May 1st, they beat us 1-0. And then in December 16, 2021, it was a 1-1 draw. And then at home, March 8, 2021, it was a 2-0 win for us. And then before that, it's pretty much balanced. It's been ups, down. We beat them, they beat us. We beat them, they beat us. But recent form of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, we've won our last 3 games, lost 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. They've won one. They won their last game, and the one before 2-2 draw. They lost 2 games, 2. Yeah, so it's pretty much balanced, really, because they both look uniform. If you move this up a bit, it will look. There's a difference between the 2-2 draw against Nottingham Forest. So the form pretty much balanced, but let's look at the numbers more here. We have insight. We're ranked 13th in goals scored per match. Let's see. And then they're ranked 18th in goals scored per match. So we're better in that department in terms of goals scored. They're ranked 18th. We're ranked 13th. So we're ranked 11th in shots in shot-on target per game. Okay, that there's no comparison there between the two. And Raheem Sterling has created the most big chances for Chelsea. Wow, I didn't know that. He's not my favorite Chelsea player, but respect to him for that statistics there. They haven't won any away game in their last 11 matches. So that's good for us. This one sits well for us here. Alex Iwobi has created the most big chances for Everton, 6. And even before I looked at this here, maybe because he's a Nigerian, I do watch a lot of his game. I followed him since his Arsenal days. Maybe that's why I know he's capable of creating good chances. He's creative and also can finish on his day. But here's what I'm paying attention to. This one here, that they haven't won any away game in their last 11 matches. So that one, to me, if you're paying attention, if we're going by the statistic there, which means we're most likely to win this one. Let's say the least will be a draw. If anything beyond that happens, well, it's just statistics. So all we can come up with, the conclusion can say the tendency of something to happen the tendency of something now to happen. It's not certain that it's gonna. This highlighted comment here, that doesn't make it a certainty that we beat them. It just says they haven't won an away game in their last 11 matches, which means there's a chance that it could still end in a draw. But hopefully we win that one. And kudos to Alex Iwobi, and respect to Raheem Sterling for having been the player that created the most big chances for us, 5 in total. That's not bad at all. So again, I'm gonna re-ask the question I asked the question I've asked before. Maybe Bobby Fairview will have a say. Which of these again? How do we deal with Everton midfield, especially for this setup we're looking at? If they go by this, then we're in serious trouble. It is 4-5-1 setup with the midfield areas jam-packed with 3. You could call them. These are 3 actually. These are traditionally 3 defensive midfielders. So if you're watching, how do we deal with that? That's what I want to know from you, really. And thank you for 30 likes, but we should be doing better than that. If you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I like interacting with you, and in a bit, we'll try to predict the lineup. The game is still about 4 hours plus from now, so we can still start the lineup exercise, finish it, and see if we get it correctly. And again, Rahayu, yep, Choma, excellent spelling there. I heard Jeb. You heard Jeb? I'm not sure what you're still referencing to. Can you elaborate? I want to know. Awesome, taxi. I mean, now you're going to run with it. You're never going to forget that spelling, but that's, by the way, if you have any Nigerian friends, they'll probably help you learn how to pronounce it. But yeah, thank you. Big up, Kachila. Porter will have a job to do, getting the team to focus today. And yeah, the question I want to ask you, Bobby, and I want to get your thoughts is this. How do we deal with Everton midfield setup? Yeah, the 3-1-2-3. Yeah, these are all traditionally defensive midfielders. Correct me if I'm wrong, really. How do we deal with them? Plus, they're going to sit deep. They already have 4 defenders. They're going to sit deep, plus this guy is in front of them. It'll be very, very difficult for us to find solutions, break them down. But let's see what we do today. That's why I don't know if this game will be suitable for Felix. I'd rather see, but this is just a probable lineup, so we don't mix things up. I'd rather see a player such as Noni Mudryk. He's a ball carrier and a fine dribbler. I think he'd do well against this side than a player like Felix who hits the deck so easily that it's not even funny. I get it; he's a fine player, but he still hasn't adapted to the physicality aspect of the Premier League, if that makes sense. Let's see anything else here to talk about. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is starting in midfield. Potter has done that often. You mean to deal with the physicality of these guys? That's not a bad suggestion, really. But that raises the question. 2 things you need from the midfielder, whoever starts there. 2 important things you need from them to deal with the physicality and also be able to read the game so well, because they're going to hit. Yes, my biggest concern, if they're going to get a goal today, it's going to come from 2, it's going to come in 2 ways, either of these 2 ways. One, through a set piece, the other counter-attack. So if you're talking about Ruben playing here, the balance I'm seeking is one you can get from a player such as Denis Zakaria. I'd rather Denis Zakaria rather than Ruben Loftus-Cheek or N'Golo Kante, but I'm not sure whether Kante is fully fit to start, but probably we'll see him sometime in the game. So I'd rather Denis Zakaria. You need a player who's capable of also, dealing with the physicality of the Everton 3 here, but at the same time able to read the game and sense the danger and be at the right place at the right time to avoid us being vulnerable to Everton counterattacks, if that makes sense. And Ruben isn't the man. I get it. It wouldn't make any sort of sense. And if Ruben becomes the choice of pairing for Enzo Fernandez, which means Enzo will be the one, if that is, I don't know if Graham Potter does that actually. Enzo will end up being the one charged to be more defensively minded, if that makes sense. Not Ruben. So it's not easy to say what happens there, really. But let's see. So I want Bobby Fairview's contribution as to how he thinks and what he thinks Graham Potter should do to deal with the Everton midfield. Three defensive midfielders. That's what they are. If you know them, you know they're all defensive midfielders traditionally. It's a 3DM. Yeah, it is. So maybe overlap the flanks. Is overlapping the flanks is a good idea. Yeah, it makes sense. Because with the 3DM, the two players you have on the left-hand side will be McNeil and Godfrey. Right-hand side will be Coleman, and he will be also can actually he tracks back quite well. So, but I think it makes sense. I think we'll be able to find joy on the flanks, which means we need fine dribblers really. And I think Noni Mudryk would do well. He's a fine dribbler. You just have to charge him not to. He runs with the ball, but not to run inwards with the ball, but run direct towards the opposition, go with the ball. I think it's simple instruction like that will make a huge difference in non-nomadic. He's a young player, but if you can explain to him, this is how I want you to assert yourself, this is how I want you to apply yourself in this particular position, I think he will go a long way. And one player that will be useless in this game will be Ziyech. That's how I see it. If he starts and proves me wrong, I'll take it. But I think he'll be useless because this guy said they're most definitely going to defend it. If I see anything different today, I'll be surprised. It's an excellent idea to try to overlap the flanks. I think that will help. 3-4-1-2 maybe with a 10. But we don't know the structure it's going to use because this 1-2-3 could be swapped to. It depends on who's on the pitch. But if we're going to see Felix and Mudryk, it will most likely be a 3-4-2-1. But there are some personnel, if you have them on the pitch, it will most likely be 3-4-1-2 with a 10. But let's see what happens. RSC just behind the forward. He's never going to do that. If Graham Potter does that, I will take it. Here's the thing. I am the biggest fan of Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing closer to the final third, either as an 8 or 10. Believe me, he's a fine player. He's actually, I've argued this before, he's actually the best 8 we have available. But unfortunately for him, even, what's his name? Thomas Tuchel didn't give him a chance in that position. And it doesn't look like he gets the chance to play there on that Graham Potter, actually. But believe me, if you know him too well, you'd know he'd be more productive for us if you play him closer to the final third. But I'll take him playing in the right wing back position, but Reece James is available, so why play him there? But let's see what the manager does today. Felix will be perfect guy. Perfect guys. So believe me, some cards will be issued because of Felix. Then they will have to take it easy. It could go either way. It could go either way in the sense that it could be seen as him being diving. Yeah, it could be seen as him diving. It could be then it could be seen as him being targeted. Then the opposition will get yellow card. But the fact is, if you're telling yourself the truth, he hits the deck so easily. It's not funny. So I don't know how to discuss that. Let's see what else we have here. I would play Gallagher for his aggressive press up in the field. Where precisely? Here's why. If you're going to play Gallagher, it has to be as one of the 2 8s. That is, if this is the structure, as one of the 2 8s. If he plays as one of the 2 8s here, then his running will be effective there in terms of pressing and all that. But we don't really. In this case, I don't think the running is what we need the most. We need good ball carriers. We need people who are good on the ball, who can, not lose the ball under pressure, because you get that today quite a lot. And if you play Gallagher deeper, usually you see a bit of confusion. Yes, I get it. The running he does whenever he comes on usually helps us. It helps us deal with the opposition. But here's the thing, deal with the opposition's energy. Again, the energy he brings onto the pitch, I think, makes a difference, usually towards the end of games. But what else happens is that you see a bit of confusion because he's literally everywhere on the pitch. you see a bit of confusion, especially if especially if he's deployed deeper. So that's a huge problem. But let's see what the manager does today. Kuchula, I think we needed to go to 3-5-2. Okay. To a 3-5-2. With it, again, who's going to be the five? Let's say that, yeah, I get it. The wing backs are let's not count them as midfielder. But who's going to be the three midfielders there? I want to know, and who you're going to deploy up top. I really want to know in a 3-5-2 structure, not just for this game, but in preparation for the Real Madrid. We need Mount. As simple as that. Hopefully, he's in the right mindset. Frame of mind. That's important because the whole thing that's been going on, the abuse has been getting from some of the sections of the fan base. It's not okay. Even if you think he's not the best player at the club, respect him. I think he has a lot to offer. But unfortunately for Chelsea, for us, the Chelsea fan base is once you're out of form, you're not good enough for Chelsea anymore. And after I say that disclaimer, I'm not saying Mount is the best player at Chelsea. I'm not saying he's the worst player either, but I'm just saying he has a lot to offer. If we can understand that. 35 likes, people. Keep dropping the likes. Let's get it to 50 and 100 as soon as possible. I don't have to be putting up a poll begging you for likes for that to happen. But yeah, and here's another part of your comment that I like is this. The preparation for the Madrid game starts now. Yep, it starts now. We don't have to wait until a few days before the game. Before we start preparing for it. No, the preparation starts now, testing our players, seeing what they're capable of doing. But let's see what happens. Good contribution there. I like that. Eventually, we will end up with 1-4-5 in attack. If you do that, they're gonna get more than 2 goals with a counter attack. And we don't have the quickest defensive line again, except maybe if Fofana is he's sensitive enough, if he's in the right place to deal with the situation. But this, I get it. I don't want us to risk it that much. We have to pay attention to what the opposition are doing. We should get at least 2 penalties if we play Felix, Mudryk, and Mudryk. How many penalties have we gotten from the Premier League in 2023? Have we gotten even a single one? One was in the Champions League, but not in the Premier League. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see. I'd have Zakaria in the middle with Enzo and Mount advanced. Oh, okay. Zakaria. I'd have Zakaria in the midfield with Enzo and Mount in advance, feeding Felix and Havertz. If Mount isn't fit, I'd use Okani for Everton and Gallagher for Madrid. There's some suggestion right there, but I don't like seeing Mount deeper anywhere deeper in the midfield, except if as an 8, because usually he seems confused when that happens. But some good suggestions there. The game will not be end to end. We will need players to create something in between our crowd. Yep, in between the crowd, which means you need a ball carrier such as Noni Madueke. Do we have another ball carrier there? Kovacic. It's important, but where playing deep, he practically he will be ineffective if he starts deep. I don't know. Maybe if it's changed how he applies himself. I get it. He helps us progress the ball when we play teams that press us aggressively or seem to double up on our players. But against low block oppositions, he struggled. If that makes sense. The only player I'm going to say, again, the ball carrier that will be effective in this game will be Noni Madueke. Like I said, Ziyech will be useless in this game if he gets a chance to start. But that's a solid argument right there. Mount has new agent. Does that bode well for us? Or is that a signal that he's on his way out? I think I wouldn't get... Players do change agents now and then. But even before now, from 2 months ago or so, I've started saying Mount is more likely to leave Chelsea than stay. And there are other factors actually that has emerged that has actually strengthened that argument. The fact that the new owners have a new structure of contract, which we've heard Mount isn't okay with. We've also have the salary they're offering him is something he feels like he should be earning more, and I don't blame him. He has every right to ask whatever he thinks he should be earning at the club. That factor, the long-term contract, if he refuses to take that, he's creating, and the owners decides to offer him what is actually a short-term contract, then yeah, they're creating a problem for themselves. And in terms of salary, I don't think the club win a very, very, you could say, how do I phrase it? Mount has all the cards. Plus, if he leaves, he has more chance to even earn more money from other clubs than at Chelsea. So yeah, but like I said, the fact that he changed agents, I wouldn't read too much into that. But it's easy for people to read too much into it because, yeah, the agent in question that people are talking about, they say the same agent for Van Dijk and Van Dijk and some other Liverpool player. So, but I get where that's coming from. But we know Potter will start conversations over Zakaria, which might work for Everton, but not Madrid. Everton will bully the two of them. I'm going to keep repeating this because it's just simply the fact. As much as we enjoy watching Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez's offensive contribution, I think they've not really done a good job protecting the back three. Yeah, and Enzo, as good as he is not the most experienced. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's been excellent, especially offensively, and I'm glad we signed him. What showed you, again, how inexperienced is it? What game was that? That Kepa parried the ball. Kings could have saved the ball one time, and the rebound, even had Enzo left it, Kepa could have. It's too close to the ball. He could have just stretched his hand and catch the ball, but Enzo had to try to clear it, and that's inexperience. And he's so young, but that's the least of my concern. My overall argument is that none of these two guys are, you could say, are excellent in terms of reading the opposition play and breaking up the opposition play. But we move on from that. Unfortunately, you're very correct. I don't see Graham Potter trying to mixing things up in terms of his selection of the 2-6s to balance things well. So yeah, it makes sense there. I'd say play on the counter, but you need the occasional long ball for that. We can't play. How can we play on the counter against Everton? Do you really see that possibility? Because they're going to be on the back foot, and we're going to probably keep the ball most of the time. So they're the ones. The setup shows you that what they do is they try to invite us and then hit us on a break and see where Damari Gray is. And he's a quick player, a fine finisher on the day. And yeah, more importantly, he's a fine dribbler too. But I get where you're coming from. Coach, funny or irony, you said Everton have a two sharp, fast, and creative players, the same as Real. We need to get used to these two player teams. I think, we have to. We have to, otherwise we're in trouble. But Madrid, I think, as much as you counting them as a two-player team, everything they do in most cases come from the midfield. The creativity of the on-call Luka Mudryk. A lot go through him whenever he's on the pitch. Let's see if we play the same way we've been playing since change information. These last few games, this should be a comfortable win for us. Gotta go for now. Take care. Thank you so much, Constantin Dante. I appreciate you becoming a member. That will go along with. Thank you so much. See you next time, brother. And please do take good care of yourself. What is the problem with? What is the problem, Coach Mount? Well, not my problem, but it's still a problem for the club. I'm not sure whether they're really serious about keeping him. It doesn't look like it. Everything we've heard that he was fully fit and it was left out of the squad. So I'm not sure what's going on really, and I hate talking about it. And Kim, so how are you preparing for your exams? I hope your preparations for the exams they're going well. I wish you good luck also. Against Madrid, 3-5-2, Enzo, Kovacic, Kante, or Zakaria. We need to mix it up there, but hopefully Graham Potter does that. We don't need to start Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez at the 2 6s. It's not balanced. They are excellent offensively, but defensively they don't do much. What's the problem? Oh, OMG, I cannot go one day of rest from Chelsea. A lot is going on. Sorry about the cough, people. A lot is going on. The Mount case, I'm not sure where we're at with that right now. Is there a chance that he still stays at the club? Yeah. Is there a chance that he leaves? Probably, most likely. Yeah, most likely he will most likely leave. That he stays. The Prince is here. Big up, Prince. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show, guys. Thank you for 42 likes. Let's get it to 50 as soon as possible and shoot for 100 likes. That will go a long way. Let's see what else we have here. I'm tired of our defenders at Koulibaly being a level bad when they are suffering from the lack of support from the midfield. Neil, that's an excellent way to put it. Yep, every time we've struggled defensively, usually if you pay attention, the issue stems from the midfield, lack of proper protection from the 2 6s. They've improved, but we have a problem there because a team with a good midfield will exploit that. A team with 5 finishers who like to shoot from outside the 18, they will exploit the spaces that we see Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez leaving behind. So good point there. But for us, a lot of the fan base, they don't look at games beyond results. Yeah, if we win a game, everything is all right. If we lose, then that's when they take time to find someone to accuse of the reason for being the reason why we lost a particular game. Coach Mount is not a problem. It's not our problem. We are winning games without him. You have every right to see it like that, but the chances are if he joins the team would be even better. We need as many players as we can get. I am just hoping we don't have an injury today. We have to stay fit. Everybody's back now. But that's why, again, with regards to the injury talk concern, I'm calling for the manager not to rush N'Golo Kante back. I honestly do not want to see that happen. We should take that slowly. We shouldn't be in a rush to bring him back into the fold. It's a risk which isn't worth taking. Give him time to recover fully. Let's not go back to the times where, because he was too important to us, the slightest he recovers, we'll pull him back into the fold. Same thing goes to Didier Deschamps or the French national team coach. We don't want to see that happen again. Let's manage him carefully. I think we'll be better off doing that. I think we have a first 11 that can unlock any team in the league. Let's stick with Let's stick with our first 11 before substitution. You mean the 11 that started against? You're talking about the 11 that started against? Was the last thing we played? Leicester City. Is that what you're talking about? Let's see what happens there. And give me 1 second, please. Let me take care of something here. Bobby Fairview, are you responding to somebody? Are you talking to me? Responding to someone else? Let's see what we have here. I miss Kante. I know where that line is from. One of my favorite songs, actually. But you mix it up. That's from. I'm not sure that's where it's originally from. But the first time I heard it was in a 50 Cent song. I love your like a. Loves cake. But yeah, I get it. I miss him too. Kante might be in the squad today, but he's not going to start. I think it only makes sense to start giving him game times gradually. That will go a long way. I don't think we need much change in the setup. My concern, here's the thing. I think we do in the sense that Everton are going to defend deep. In the sense that they're going to be physical and see their setup. Look at them. They're playing 3 recognized DMs in Abdoulaye Doucouré, Idrissa Gueye, and Andre. Is it Amadou Onana? I think that's his first name is Amadou Onana. His first name is Amadou. His last name Onana. These 3, to be able to deal with them, we need to mix it up here in the midfield area. We're not well mixed up there. If that makes sense, the balance is it's not a good balance. Just give me 1 second. I want to put up a poll here. If you're watching, let's start talking about the formation. What formation do you really think the manager is going to play? I think he sticks with a Whatever he does up here, 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1-2, we're not sure. He may well try to have more good passes. Can a bit outside the box. I'm not sure what he does there. He may well try to have a 10, but let's see what happens. Just give me a second. I'm going to put up a poll here, and I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Please bear with me. This looks like a poll needs, again, the channel needs help with the poll to get more likes. The likes will go a long way. So if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the support. I will be with you guys in a bit. One second, I'm almost done. Yeah, 1 second, how many times? Okay, I should have done this before the show started, but apologies for that. There you go. Thank you so much, guys. It took a bit, again, it's some silence, deafening silence, if you want to say that. I don't think we know, but like I've explained, I think we do really. What else do we have here? The only way Mount can get that contract is if it drops a masterclass in the UEFA Champions League. Yeah, here's the thing I got to say. The truth remains, as much as I don't want him to leave, I think the fact that he's not in good form doesn't help his case or doesn't help his arguments for whatever salary he's asking. But I hope you understand my point. Yes, people keep dropping the likes on the stream because the likes do go a long way. I wish Kante played just 5 minutes off the pitch. If it comes on, I think it will be more than just 5 minutes, if that makes sense. N'Golo Kante, yep, I love him so much. And Yadi Craft, Gaming 2, nice to you. I hope you're doing well. Kante starting would be an incredible piece of man management from Graham. This is sarcasm between. Excuse me, sorry guys. And without you saying this is sarcasm between, I would have started telling you why it's a risk for him to start. But we never know how fit he is. There's a chance he's actually fully fit to start off the bat, but we don't know. We don't really, because he's returned to training for a while now, and the question is, when did he return to full training? If that makes sense, yeah. So it wouldn't make any sort of sense to just throw him into the fold like that. I think it would be a huge risk. Let's see what else we have here. There won't be any run past cover. They won't run past cover midfield. Doesn't have the pace. Won't cover. You don't. Cover will be outrun in terms of physicality. I think he's quicker. I'm not sure. I don't think he's quicker than Onana. I'm not sure. I'm not sure even he's quicker than any of them. I don't know how quick these guys are. I just know they are physical and traditionally DM. So let me not get into that argument. But that's, by the way, if you're watching, if you haven't, people, please keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So I've asked a question. Let's see, what formation do you guys think the manager would deploy today? Let's try and take care of that. Chosen 11. Yep. So I'm going to go with 3-4-3. Let's start from there. Let's go with 3-4-3. But we need to change this to white first. Yep. Blue and white. I think that color is fine. Let's go with 3-4-3. Let's go with 3-4-3. When we're not sure if he's going to switch it up to like 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1-2. There's no telling what he does. But let's see. But most likely it will be with a flat back three. It will be with a back three. Yep. For sure. Most likely. So let me make this just so that it just looks good. All right, the 2-6 is there. There you go. But we're not sure what he's gonna do. We're not sure whether he's gonna do a 2-1 or 1-2 or a a flat three there, but we're not sure. But let's just go like that. We know who starts where if it's in fact a three at the front. But let's see. Okay, that's the structure. Let's start with that one. Let me see. I want to get your thoughts on whether you think he switches structure. I don't think he would do that, but let's get your thoughts. It says Kante shouldn't start the match. He should not be rushed back. And if he just again, if he just started training with his teammates just 2 days ago or so, he shouldn't even be on the bench really. But if you're gonna get a few minutes, that will go a long way. I think he will play 3-5-2 with Mudryk and Havertz both as a false nine. Oh, okay. Okay, and let's see. Mr. Polly, excuse me, guys. So sorry about that. Like I said, yeah, so sorry. I'm still struggling with that a bit. Mr. Polito, way big up to you, brother. I think folks forget that Valverde makes runs too. That's you're talking about Real Madrid now. Okay. Let's see what happens. But Mr. Polito, way nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know that you've been okay. We haven't seen you in a while. I think 3-4-3, but I think Pulisic starts over Mudryk. That is some suggestion there. Why do you think that will happen? Why do you think that will happen? To me, I think Mudryk starts. I think Mihailo Mudryk starts. But let's see. Oh dear. Mudryk was clearly more comfortable when he was moved out left in the last game. We lose too much with his defensive deficiency for the output we get. Pulisic is a natural left inside forward. Some argument right there. But let's see what happens really. But again, people, thank you so much for all the support. If you're watching, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much for all the support. I appreciate that. So maybe we should try and construct the lineup right now. We're at 46 likes. Let's get it to 50, and as soon as possible, 100 if we can. And if you're watching, if you're not able to participate in the chat, I want to say thank you to you. You're contributing quite a lot to the growth of the channel. And yeah, you don't have to contribute. You don't have to be part of the conversation in the chat. But if you're watching, if you can do us a tiny bit of favor, take a second, drop a like on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, people, for all your support. 1 second here. Something I wanted. All right, let's go. Let's start looking at the lineup. We know who starts here. Mendy is back in training, but we don't think he starts here. But I still think there's a chance Graham Potter will look at Mendy and say, well, you won the club the Champions League. You were brilliant during the club's run up to the Champions League final. And in the final, you were brilliant too. There's a chance he gives him a chance in the Champions League, but I think Mendy starts between the sticks. Let's not worry too much about the structure right now. But let's start picking the lineup. Yes, people, as you're watching, if you haven't taken a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Coach, we are staying back three for foreseeable future. I think even Potter mentioned that. Yep, he did say that. But which means he has a problem. He has to find a way to structure it to accommodate the wingers. And like my bro Josh said the other day, the wingers probably will most likely start playing as forwards, or like in the case we saw on the Thomas Tuchel, the wingers most likely will start playing as one of the 2-8s. In the case of where we deploy 2-8s or so, it depends on the structure. Centrally here, I think Koulibaly starts again, and I know by now most people you're well acquainted with my argument as to why I don't think we'll leave him out of any game as long as Thiago Silva isn't available. He's the most experienced, and he's shown he's capable of leading the back line comfortably. It's hard to see a situation where Graham Potter would charge what's his name, Wesley Fofana, with the responsibility of leading the back line, especially in the back three. Wesley Fofana, he's gotten the opportunity to lead the back line for us, and that was the first Champions League game we lost in this edition of the Champions League. That was away to what was that team? He struggled to lead the back line. So I think Koulibaly starts here. I think Koulibaly starts. So if you're in the chat, what I want to get from you, make a case who starts in the right centre back position. I think it's going to be Wesley Fofana, and I don't think Wesley Fofana gets rested. I think he's had a few days to rest since our last game. I think he starts this one, and I still don't think Graham Potter trusts Trevor Chalobah. And I've said that on occasion, and I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm serious about that. But make an argument. This one is easy. It's easy decision. I think Fofana starts there. But if you think otherwise of the two players, Wesley Fofana, if you think otherwise of the two players that I have here, Koulibaly centrally to lead the back line and Wesley Fofana the right centre back position. Here's where I want to get your argument. I know it's easy to put up a poll and you just vote, but I want your argument as to why you think what's his name, Benoit Badiashile, or what's the other player's name, Benoit Badiashile or Kukurea starts in the left centre back position. To me, I think it's going to be Benoit Badiashile. Why do I say that? We needed to be able to deal with the aerial threat of Everton. They have this guy is good aerially, Decore is good aerially, and Kane actually is actually good aerially. Tarkowski, I don't know too much about his aerial ability, but Kane is good aerially, Decore is good aerially, Onana is good aerially. So we need a taller players here to be able to do that. So I'd say Badiashile starts here, but I want to see your argument. If you're in the chart, who do you think starts in the left center back position before I plug it in? So thank you so much for 52 likes. You see, the poll actually does help remind people to like the stream. And I put up the poll how many minutes ago, and it has gone out to 52 likes. So hopefully we get it to 100 by the time the show ends. Coach was staying back for the that argument makes a solid sense. Vivaldi is the most underrated young players in Europe. Also, Rodrigo, too. You could say that in Europe, he's an exceptional athlete, faster than Vinicius, technically gifted, and defensively sound. He can equally play deep or in an attack. Rare gem. Yep, those sort of players are rare to get. So I'm waiting for your argument as to why you think the pairing here for the left centre back position. What player do you think it will be? Kukurea, or do you think it will be? Or do you think it will be Badiashile? One thing is certain: Graham Potter, like Roger will always say, is predictably unpredictable. That's the truth. But right now, given the circumstances, I think he will be well acquainted with how teams how teams play under Sean Dyche. Aerial ability is their thing. It doesn't even take him time to drill his team to play dirty in terms of also settling up positions. So I think this position will be very important. So I'm waiting for your argument. We don't know Potter that much, but I think we know much to know he pays attention to how the opposition play. But that's by the way. Let's see. Big up my friend. Please just win, Chelsea. Chelsea fan. Just win indeed. That's more. There's more to just the willingness to win. It's not easy, but I get what you're saying. If you're watching, if you haven't taken a second, drop a like on the stream. And Chelsea fan, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know you're fine. We really do want to know how you're doing. So thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And Koulibaly and Fofana have nailed their position until Thiago Silva is back. Like I've said before, I don't even see Koulibaly living in the summer. Like most people were saying he was going to leave because he had a few bad games, which wasn't down to him really. He stays. So you're correct. If anything, he's going to be rotating with Thiago Silva. And in most cases, actually, you'd see Graham Potter has shown sometimes he likes to start them both. given their experience. And both are very intelligent and highly technically gifted players. Honestly, we can get if Koulibaly can take good care of himself, even by the time Thiago Silva hangs his boot, Koulibaly can still go a long way for us. We can still get 3 more solid years from him, because what defines his ability on the ball the most is his intelligence as a player. Not really about, again, he's a big player, but he's more, again, he's highly technically gifted and is good on the ball too. He's capable of creating, again, passing the ball comfortably with both feet, if that makes sense. So I think, yeah, both of them will go a long way. They will be rotating, and in most cases, you'd see Graham Potter start them both because they're good. And those are the 2 best defenders we have at the club. Potter never follows a convention, or a pattern, if you prefer, but something is clear. I don't think he'd risk not starting Koulibaly centrally here. No matter, I think Koulibaly at this point will be a constant in the team. Fofana most likely will still be a constant in the team, except if he has a knock or not ready. Chalobah is the least trusted of the players. As much as I know he's a good player and can actually give Fofana a break and start here and put in a good shift for us. But it doesn't look like Graham Potter starts him. But let's see what happens. I'm waiting for your argument as to what player do you think should start in the left center back position. To me, I think Badiashile makes sense given the physicality and the aerial prowess of the Everton players. So I'm waiting for you there to come in with your argument. He will probably ignore heights going into this game. Wow. You think so? Then he's not paying attention, really. Then maybe he doesn't know Shandash. He doesn't know how he plays. Everton, literally in the first 2 games they played on the Shandash, changed. The dirty play we used to see on the Shandash team. What's his former team? Was it Bournemouth? What's his former team? I don't remember their name. The dirty approach to football. Some people call it haram football, forbidden football. Haram means forbidden. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I know that. They play forbidden football. They don't care how beautiful it is. They just want to win. And if it means unsettling the opposition with being more physical, they do that. And they like to put the ball into the box all the time. I get it. As much as I like Cucurella playing here, because of his sweeper defender ability, that's what I call it. He likes, if you watch Cucurella play, whenever he starts here, if this is Cucurella now, he reads the game so well that sometimes you'd see Koulibaly make mistake and Cucurella will be here to fix it. If Fofana makes a mistake, sometimes he's here to fix it. Even sometimes you see him doing the job of the 2 6s for them. Sometimes he's here and here and here fixing problems, making corrections. So I get it, but we're going to suffer aerially. We will suffer aerially. If he starts Cucurella here, I think it's going to be a problem. If he starts and does better, then I'll be shocked. And I would, whatever, he's the one that trains these guys. If he starts them, then let's see. I think from what's his name, from Badiashile, you get height, you get pace because he's quick too. And also, I know he's not quickest, but he's quick. And then you get ability on the ball too. So, but let's see what happens. And he reads the game too quite well, but he's not a sweeper defender as Cucurella, if that makes sense. Let's see what we have here. It should be Badiashile, given his height and capacity to deflect long balls. Thank you so much for mentioning that. But Bobby also did make a good point here. Potter is predictably unpredictable, which means we're not sure what he's going to do. There's a chance he sticks with Cucurella. I get it. So that if what I'm going to say now may sound as sentiment, but I think it doesn't make sense that you left Badiashile out of the Champions League squad. And some cases, we've seen some performances in the Champions League. We're saying he should have been added. But I'm not going to get into that argument because whoever that's left out, there will always be questions for one reason or the other. Badiashile is good enough to have been, again, he's good enough to be in the Champions League squad. And then you and then you start benching him in the league also, it doesn't make any sort of sense. Plus, he hasn't put a foot wrong, actually. His performances has been near perfect, if that makes sense. Yeah, I get that argument. Since he will ignore height, my prediction is Cucurella. I don't think he will ignore height. I think he will recognize Sean Dyche's preferred approach to football and the heights. I get it. The heights on the Everton side. I know Goye isn't the tallest. No, he's not the tallest, but the Correa, correct me if I'm wrong, I think is tall. Onana is tall, obviously. Let's see what he does. Maybe if he feels like he'd be all right with Koulibaly and Fofana. But I don't think if you're talking about man management, I don't think it will make sense to leave Badiashile out also. This is not me being sentimental. He deserves to start. He's done well for us in the league, if that makes sense. But I get your argument. I am good. Thank you, sir. I can't complain. I can been a bit under with the weather, but I feel so much better. So thank you for asking. Potter doesn't trust Chalobah because his ball handling gives everyone the nerves. How old is he again? How old is he? Whatever we've seen, but Chalobah, he's had some excellent games for us. He's put in excellent shift in multiple occasions for us. I think he should trust him, but we don't know. I get the argument. He doesn't trust him, but I don't think that's reason enough. Even before the World Cup, wasn't he one of our best defenders on the Graham Potter? So Graham Potter actually cannot justify not trusting Chalobah. Yeah, I think he should be rotating with Fofana if we stick with the back three. I think he'd do well there. I don't think he'd be able to justify not trusting him because he was one of our best defenders before the World Cup. If you get my argument, the Blue game, I feel much better. I was able to say to say your name the way I like to say it. Potter needs to use the next 3 games to establish his lineup. So when we play Liverpool, we are in a position to win and at least ready to compete against Real Madrid. Fofana starts from now on. Good argument right there. And here's the thing: we need to give him a break, not to wear him out before the Real Madrid game. Here's the thing: I think you and I agree. The preparation for the Real Madrid game starts right now. It starts right now. It starts with his selection. It starts with his approach and all that. If he waits until a few days before he starts preparing, then he's preparing to lose. Yes, people, thank you so much for 54 likes, and I appreciate all the support. Let's get it to 60 and as soon as possible 100 likes so we can get there, but only if you feel like we can. Potter plays the game without a striker, and his team struggles for goals. He never plays a DM. That is one of my strongest arguments for Potter, but unfortunately, some of us don't look at that. And some, when you talk about him not playing with a striker, some say, how about what's his name, the former Manchester United and Arsenal player, what's his name, Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck is not your stereotypical number 9, and the way he applies himself when he played for Graham Potter is different than how you'd have a 9 operate. He never plays a DM. As his win rate indicates, he concedes goals. Why would Potter be concerned about physicality? Yeah, but I get your argument, but we're talking about something, again, the way we see it, because we understand football. I get it, we're not expert, but to you could say an acceptable extent, we understand the importance of trying to match them physicality for physicality, if that makes sense. We understand the importance of doing that, and we understand that Kovacic, it's simple actually. We understand that Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez, as much as they're excellent offensively, we have an issue defensively. Their presence in the midfield area are actually non-existent. If you watch the 2 games where we've paired them, where they're the 2 pairings for the 2-6 position, we usually win the ball back from the flanks on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, or somehow the opposition make mistakes, or somehow the opposition gets to our defense before we're able to win the ball back. But the 2-6s usually, they haven't won the back for one. They usually ball watching whenever the oppositions come at us in the midfield area. I get it. Enzo has some acceptable numbers in terms of his defensive aspect of the game, but he has a record as the most dribble past player, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's common sense to look at it and say this pairing, their pressing or their efforts to actually get the ball out back from the opposition is literally non-existent, except if it's a second ball situation and they get it. So we usually get the ball back when it gets to our defense, and that's concerning to me, really. If that makes sense. He consists. Why would Potter? Yeah, good argument, but let's see what he does. We're just arguing because we understand the situation. Easy 2-0. Felix and Mudryk, CFC Nathan says, if I see that, I'll take it. I want my club to win more games. And if you're watching, people, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 54 likes, and we got a new member today. Thanks to Dante for becoming a new member. Again, I sincerely do appreciate that. The Bluetooth game comes in here, and I'm planning on blocking the Bluetooth games. So you guys, if you're in the chat, let me know. Happy Saturday, bro. Keep the blue flags flying high. Yep. Thank you so much for saying that. Let's see what we have here. Porter has a terrible habit of shutting out certain players when the team is clearly crying out for their skill set. Elaborate. Give us one example, and I really do want us to talk about it. Give us one example of a player you think is shut out unfairly or unnecessarily, or even when we need that particular player, he still shuts out the player. And boy, people, I'm going to let you guys know this. I really do enjoy interacting with you. Okay, just saying hello to each other. Let's see what we have here. Havertz scores again. Scores again today. I want to see that happen today. Not sure if Mudryk starts the day, though. Okay, we'll get there. When we get there, we'll have a debate as to what sort of players do we think should start against a low block Everton, if that makes sense. So we'll get there. We'll have the debate. So I'm waiting for you. Who you think starts in the left center back position? I really want to know. Best time team picks. Yeah, you arrived just on time. So the argument is right now, who starts in the left center back position? Your thoughts. I'm waiting for your contribution. You let me know. For me, I think it's going to be Badiashile, and I haven't seen so many people think otherwise. But Bobby presented. Is it that one? He presented a solid argument as to why he thinks it's going to be Cucurella. But in this case, I think he will most definitely be at least because I fear I'm fully acquainted with Everton's new approach to football, their aerial ability, and also they have some tall players there, plus the physicality. I think Badiashile will be better suited for this position here. So let me go for Badiashile. If anybody, I haven't seen too many arguments against that being the case. Too many suggestions. If you prefer here, this again, let's start with the 2-6s. I'm going to say Enzo here. Most definitely he starts. But who's going to be the pairing for Enzo Fernandez? Who's going to be the pairing for Enzo Fernandez? That's the next question. Let's see what we have here. What do we have? I went back to that one and I brought this one. This one too. It says Iwobi makes me doubt whether to go for Cucurella for a bit more speed or Benoit for the physicality. Some argument that Iwobi has pace. Iwobi can also pick out good passes. And like this says here, he's created the most, again, the big chances for them. I think we saw that when we read the insights here. Yep, it says Alex Iwobi has created the most big chances for Everton. And now on the flanks, for Frank Lampard, he played centrally. But now for Sean Dyche, he played mainly on the flanks. I think he'd be able to do more damage in terms of pace. But here's the thing. I get your argument there, Glenn. Even if Badiashile starts as one of the 2-6s here, as in the left center-back position, so to speak, we can still play Cucurella here, or even Benchua can match. I think he can match Iwobi pace for pace, if that makes sense. I'm not sure how to explain this to you. So yeah, but let's see what happens. So this year the argument is who pays Enzo. Zakaria will be a good pairing, and Zakaria has proven if you charge him to be more defensively minded, he can read the game quite well. Even though to me he's more of a box-to-box player, but he reads the game quite well. And occasions when that he's played for us, that he's been the pairing centrally, he's done a good job in terms of making sure we don't concede. And we've seen him being at the right place at the right time to break up opposition play or stop them from scoring against us. So who do you think pairs? Who do you think is going to pair? What's his name? It's going to pair Enzo Fernandez. To me, I think knowing Graham Potter, like I've always said before, if we're going by the lettering levels such as CM, DMs, he prefers more CMs than even having any of them being DMs. I'm not sure how he makes up for the fact that none of the two players here are defensively sound, or maybe are the best at reading the game and protecting the defense. I'm not sure. Maybe that's where Cucurella comes in. Yeah, maybe the fact that Cucurella. So this brings me back to this brings me back. This brings me back to Bobby Fairview's argument that he's going to start Cucurella. Maybe because he knows Cucurella too well and knows Cucurella operates as a sweeper defender. So maybe he wouldn't have a problem starting Enzo Fernandez and also Mateo Kovacic. Then he starts Cucurella here to sweep, to clean up behind them, because Cucurella, if you paid attention the way he operates, whenever these are the two parents, he's literally everywhere here. So maybe that's the reason why he starts Cucurella. Maybe that's how he makes up for lack of the defensive, solidity of this the 2-6s here. But the question to you still is who pairs Enzo Fernandez? Zakaria will be a good balance, but will he do that? We don't know. If he plays where it's shown, okay, let's see. Zakaria, Alba, Chukwuemeka Chalobah, all players who could have added something in the last few games or should be getting minutes in preparation for April, all basically shut out. You could say that they're basically shut out. I know Chukwuemeka, he has a lot to offer. I've seen him play. I've seen actually he can actually play as one of the 2-8s and be excellent. He holds the ball and not too much in a hurry to release the ball. And he's actually can finish. He hasn't gotten a goal. He hit the woodwork or the goalpost because he was unlucky. So Alba also, we're paying him for Christ's sake. And he's a fine finisher, one of the best finishers we have at the club. Why not give him a chance at least in the Premier League, even if you have issues with him? If anything, the way he's treated Aubameyang, to me, is probably not going to be in the right frame of mind to start games. But let's see what the manager does. All players who could have added something in the last few games or should have been, yeah, I've read that. But again, I seem to enjoy reading your comments there. People, we're at 59 likes. Let's get it to 60. Then we need 40 more to get it to 100. We can do that. Please help us get it to 100 likes. The likes do go a long way, and I appreciate all your support. Let's keep it going. Let's see what we have here too. Solid argument for Cucurella as coach does the job of protecting. Does the job of protecting without DM. Also, he has been Potter's son from Brighton, even beyond being Potter's son. So maybe, yeah, the reason he starts is because we're not playing with any traditional DM. Cucurella starts and does his sweeper defender thing. It's really 50-50 toss-up between Benoit and Cucurella. Yeah, but maybe if Potter becomes a bit sentimental or maybe prioritizes the aerial capability of the Everton players and the physicality, maybe he decides maybe Cucurella. And I think, actually, see, here's another argument. Badashile could actually start here and Cucurella starts here, then maybe, I don't know, I think he's better off here. If he's taxed, if he's charged with the responsibility of cleaning up for the 2-6s, he's better off here. That's where he sees everything that's going on here, if that makes sense. But thank you so much for that. Coach, you can't You cannot block me. Not even Thiago Silva can block me. I am KDP and you are Kepa. You're not blocking. I'm sorry about the cough, people. Thank you so much for putting it that way. I enjoy reading that. But much love to you, bro. I hope you're enjoying your day. I have a feeling if Ruben Loftus-Cheek starts, if RSC starts when who will be our captain? Porter. Who will be our captain? Point. Porter said again mentioned as his seniors Aspi, Silva, and Kovacic. I think he probably we've seen Rhys James be on the pitch, and the Kovacic still had the captain's armband. Haven't we seen that? I think we've seen that happen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, we've seen that situation where Rhys James is on the pitch and Kovacic had the armband. I think Kovacic keeps it if it's on the pitch, except if Aspi is on the pitch. So Kova is practically the vice captain right now, and he's done better whenever he has the armband on. And here's another argument I have. But Graham Potter does his thing. Graham Potter probably prefers the pairing of Enzo and Kovacic. I think Enzo and Kovacic would have been two excellent rotational players. The only difference being Enzo will get you more assists, probably get you more goals. But Kovacic also he finds solution in tight spaces and is a better dribbler and keeps us playing no matter how aggressive the opposition play against us. So no matter if the opposition are into doubling upon players, he keeps us playing. But let's see what happens here. Alba is not in the UEFA Champions League squad. Yeah, we know quite well. So that's concerning, really. Coach, these players have rested long enough. It's time for them to stick out their chest and beg Potter to start them every game. Beg them with the amount of work they do on the training ground. Beg Potter with their performance, showing, they can do better than whoever they have started for us for a while now. Potter again. The back five should start every game. Injuries permitting in the lead up to the most important games. And I know you mentioned the Liverpool game as one of the most important games. Yeah, so that makes sense. Let's see what we have here. And Simon Aduojo, I appreciate you, brother. Where are you from? The Aduojo sounds like a Nigerian name. So let me know if you're a Nigerian, bro. Everybody's my bro, but let me know if you're a Nigerian, bro. I think the coach needs to be rotating the players because lots of them have not been playing, and it can cause problems. You become match rusty. It's important. A rotation is key, but also rotation can be detrimental to the development of chemistry between the players. At one point, Thomas Tuchel overdid it, and that's why you can argue under Thomas Tuchel, we never see a time where either of the two aides or the forwards perform consistently. It's been like this. Today, they're one of the best players. Tomorrow, they suck. I get it. Rotation is key. It's important to ensuring that players don't burn out, to ensuring the players don't get injured. But at the same time, if you rotate too much, it can be detrimental to the new players gelling. It can be detrimental to the players developing good chemistry between themselves. So it's something that you have to do and do cautiously, if that makes sense. What time is our game? Today I have to do some calculation here. In my time it will be 10 a.m. my time, 10 a.m. to just quickly. Let me get that for you. 10 a.m. to just give me a second. Give me 1 second. 10 a.m. to UK time. That's where I find it. Depends on where you are. I have to do that for you. I have to oblige since you asked the question there. Let me answer you. 10 a.m. to UK time. I should know how many hours the difference is, but I can't get it off the top of my head. I have a lot. What am I looking at here? Okay, 5 p.m. UK time. 5 p.m. GMT, is that what it is? 5 p.m. Nigeria time, Ghana time. So I don't know if I should say it's GMT, and somebody has it, yeah, minus 12, 17:30, around, yeah, 17:30, which is minus 12, which is 5:30, yeah, 5:30 p.m. UK time, if that makes sense. Thank you so much. Kova in Enzo midfield. Porter will feel that if it's in broken, don't fix it. Kova dribbling could be useful against their defensive midfield. His thing, yeah, beating their midfield. But how about the low block proper, the defensive line when he gets to breaking them down to get the ball in the box, to do something inside the box? As much as I know, Kova is the only player that ensures we play, no matter how aggressively the oppositions are play against us, or no matter how if they decide to double up on us, he finds solution in tight spaces. But I don't think he's been that effective in terms of breaking down a low block defense, if that makes sense. But let's see. I think you make a solid argument. I think you're beginning to learn how Graham Potter operates, really. So credit to you, people. 59 likes, people. Let's get it 60, shoot for 70, 80, 90, 100 at least before the show ends. Come on, people. Let's keep liking the stream. I appreciate all the support. It means a lot it does go a long way to the channel. Yeah, maybe that makes sense. Porter has been a tinker man. Yep, he's been for this reason. For this season, yep, most rotation in the league. Probably because he's trying to find out what really works. I think he needs to settle down. The sooner he settles with a particular starting 11 and then rotate, and rotation becomes not the rotation is no more a constant thing. I think we'll be better off if that makes sense. Game is at, yeah, I've read that 17:30 minus 12, which is 5:30 p.m. UK time. So the pairing I'm waiting for you, I think it's going to be Kova. I think a lot of people in the chat agree. We've been there on occasions where we think Zakaria would be the better pairing for Enzo Fernandez. The man in charge ends up doing what he feels like doing in Graham Potter himself. Just give me a second. I'm going to do something here. Captain Kova indeed. Yep, Captain Kova. Maybe I should put that there. Yep, Captain Kovacic. And whenever he has, again, on the occasions that he's had the captain's armband, he's done really well. I'm sure we all agree this is going to be Reece James. So here's where we have a bit of, thinking to do here. If Badia Sheila starts here, then we have two players available. We have a space here where either Chilwell or Kukurea could start, or even Levi, what's his name? Lewis Hall also, he's played here before, and on the day he played here, he was excellent. He was able to help overload the midfield area and created some chances, actually. Good. He has a good passing range. So I wouldn't count him out. So we have three players that Graham Potter, he's tried here. He's tried Lewis Hall against Manchester City there, and he did quite well. Kukurea has played there for us, correct me if I'm wrong, and Ben Chilwell. So who do you think starts here? So chances are, let me just put it like that. Chances are, if Badia Sheila starts here, Kukurea starts here because he likes him. But let's see, what do you think? Who do you think starts in the left wing back position? I'm waiting to get your thoughts on that one. Captain Kova, yep, let's do that. Coach, would you give Kante 10 minutes? When did he commence full training? I want to know, when did he start training with the rest of the squad? 10 minutes wouldn't be bad. I just want to know if maybe he gets more. He needs actually more minutes than that, maybe around 20 to 25 minutes, but I'm not sure. 10 minutes will go a long way to help him regain match fitness. But the question is, how long has he trained with his teammates? Has it been long? I don't know really, but I want to get that response from you. Chilwell and Reece James sent from the higher powers to save our season. Both of them has been excellent. So to me, so you're suggesting it is Chilwell here and not Kukurea and not Lewis Hall. But let's get your thoughts. Other people, let's get the thoughts of other people there in the chat. Yes, brother, I'm Nigerian. Okay, welcome to the channel. Feel at home, bro. Enjoy yourself. Just keep it civil. ask questions if you have questions, and contribute in our read your comment. Thank you so much. And please do tell other people about this particular channel to help us grow. I know soon we'll get to 11,000 subscribers, and a few, surprisingly, we've gotten how many? More than 10 subscribers today. So thank you so much for all the support and the likes. 60 likes, 40 more to get it to 100. Hopefully we get more. Kukurea maybe. It's difficult to say. I think it will most likely be Ben Chilwell. I don't know, but let's see what other people think. If not Zakaria, I would like ROC with Enzo again. Everton against Everton. Enzo is the guy who will need the freedom to unpick the lock. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, how do you think Ruben Loftus-Cheek will do in terms of reading the game, protecting the defense, and being at the right place at the right time to break up the opposition play? That's why I don't like seeing him there. I'd rather see Rich James, who's played in the DM role, who's played that deep. I think it was for Wigan for a long period of time, to come centrally in pair Enzo, and then have Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing the right wing back position. That would still be effective too, if that makes sense. But yeah, I don't think Graham Potter would decide to play Rich James essentially. I think we may well see Ruben Loftus-Cheek start as one of the 2-6s. But let's see. And don't forget, we have the pre-game show where we take time to analyze the starting 11 and argue whether Graham Potter, whether he's made the right selection or not, or whether we would have been better with certain players starting in certain positions. That's what we do. And believe me, you will like that. But that's, by the way. Let's see what else we have here. Let's see what we have here. Is this a fake news? I don't trust this outlet. The guy has 42. He has 42,000 followers, and he's saying that Liverpool has completed the signing of Mason Mount. Done deal. Liverpool will sign Mason Mount from Chelsea. Personal terms not an issue. You will join Liverpool in the summer. New agent appointed to secure the deal. That sounds like a bunch of boohoo to me. But I think I may well share it with you guys so you see it. Let's see what we have here. That's the news there. Let's look at it together. Before we continue with the lineup exercise, a lineup player selection exercise. Do you believe this? I don't believe it. And this guy, he has 42,000 followers. And he says, new breaking. Okay. Liverpool FC will sign Mason Mount. Will sign. Okay, Mason Mount from Chelsea. Personal terms, not an issue. He will join Liverpool FC in the summer. A new agent appointed to secure deal. It sounds believable, but I don't think so, really. 150 retweets, but I still say this sounds like a boohoo to me. Okay, I like this one here. This person here says, you said the same thing about Bellingham. Nothing happened yet, so thank you so much for helping us debunk that. So, like I said, it sounds like a bunch of boohoo. I'm going to move on from that one. I don't believe in that news at all. So we have James here. Okay, let's go here. On the left-hand side here, I'm still waiting. Who do you think starts here? I want to get your thoughts. I'll wait for you. Just give me a second, something I wanted to take care of here quickly. Let's see. What do we have here? Because you've included Badiashile, you've got to include Cuckoo. I would have had Cuckoo and Chile. Wow. So it makes sense. Like I said, if Badiashile starts here, Kukurea have a chance to start here. But if you're in the chat, who do you think starts here? I think Chile will start. I get it. You guys think because he's you can say because Kukurea is his boy, he gets to start but he gets to start in that game. But let's see what happens. Kante started full training last week. I think Potter mentioned in presser that Kante could have a few minutes. So he's not going to start, but probably will get more than, I think he gets more than 10 minutes or about that, about 15 minutes or so. Let's see. Kukurea will not be effective in an attack as left wing back against a low block. Chile is a no-brainer, even if even for Potter. Yeah, maybe. So let's go with Ben Chilwell here. Let's go for Ben Chilwell there. Thank you so much for 62 likes. Let's keep it going, guys. Chilwell there. James there. This is where we need to do some thinking. If this is the structure, most likely Kai Havertz starts here. If you think otherwise and you're in the chat, you let me know. If you think Kai isn't the one to start, isn't going to be the one to start there, you let me know, and I want to get your argument. Let's see. All right. What else do we have there? I've looked at that one. Let's see what Potter does. That's all it comes down to here. Coach, that news may be fake, but I do. But you do. You do believe that he's going to Liverpool. Okay, I get it. Coach, okay, I've read that one. Then this one says, Coach, maybe let's have vote for left side players. According to me, the only reason for not starting Chilwell is to give him rest. But do we? Let's see the spaces between the games. And you want? There's not talking about rest now. We have about how many? About 2 weeks. How long is the break? Actually, let me check Chelsea's schedule here. We have the international break, so it's more than a week. Let me just put it like that. How long is the break actually? So after, let me see, Chelsea schedule. Just give me a second. So we play Everton today, and after that, we're not going to play again until April 4th. So this is like 2 weeks break, isn't it? So yeah, Chilwell. So there's no need to give him the break. So I think he starts. It makes sense. But if Kukurea starts, I wouldn't be surprised. Big up, Coach. Big up to you, the Added Time podcast. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. People, if you haven't, you have to go check out my bro's channel, the Added Time podcast. Click the 3 dots so his name you see. Go to channel, go check it out. Always, again, I don't know how he gets the excellent panelists he always gets. I find it difficult to get panelists, but you see the finest panelists on his show. And believe me, you want to go check it out. And bro, whenever you get a chance, share the link to your channel. Kai starts at right forward. On the right hand side, you think? Okay. If you think so, then if you say that's the case, who starts essentially? Yeah, you're saying Felix starts this game. I think this game will actually be too physical for Felix, but yeah, let's pick the lineup. Thank you so much for 63 likes. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. Mudryk and Felix on the wings. Okay, let's see. Coach, I am changing my mind about Pulisic. I tried to do my preferred lineup, and I cannot see him playing with Felix in our current formation. They have the same preferred position, so Mudryk. Yep, I think Mudryk stays here on the left-hand side here. I think he starts the left forward. And plus, again, you can say he did well the last game. He wasn't perfect, but he was making good runs. But the issue now, this particular game, the oppositions are going to sit deep. They're not going to come at us. We're not going to see as much spaces as we saw against Leicester City. It's going to be tight. And I think he's a fine dribbler. I know most people think he has a bad touch. I don't think he has a bad touch. He's a fine dribbler. And he's struggled to show that he's actually capable of doing more in terms of beating opposition players one-on-one. Maybe he gets a chance to do that. Chilwell should start being the best for us, and we should not bottle this game. We should not. We have to win this one. Let's see what else we have here. Do you see Fofana being a regular starter from now on? Yep. You don't even need to ask that question. You don't need to ask that question. He's a fine player. I think the fans recognize that he's a fine player. The biggest concern has always been whether he's injury prone or not. But I think he's proven he can stay fit, and hopefully that continue. as long as he's fit, I think he's going to become a regular starter. But there will always be the need to rest him and start someone else. That's where Chalobah comes in. And if Chalobah proves to be an excellent um, player in that position for us also, then maybe it becomes rotating them, playing them again. Giving them each, finding a way to balance the game time between the two of them, so one of them don't feel alienated or don't feel like that they have to leave the club. I think so. I think so because Kai has been playing well just behind that forward. Yep, that's the truth. Potter mentioned yesterday also in an interview that right forward is Kai's best position so far. Yep, playing Kai centrally hasn't really worked, and actually, the more you see Kai, let's say in a deeper position, he's calm on the ball, takes his time to pick out the best passes whenever you see him drop deep and gets the ball. It just seems that he needs to play even deeper, really, if that makes sense. But he's a fine finisher on his day and needs to play consistently on wherever the manager feels like works out for him. I think that will help him. He's starting to show some good form, and I want to see more of that. I am honestly struggling to find a place in my preferred team for Felix these days. Just not sure he's at the right level in the defensive phase. No, he's not. That has never been. It has never always been his game. Probably hence his issues with Diego Simeone. But that's, by the way, I think it would make sense not to play him in this game. I think he will struggle. At least that's what I think. If his stats improves otherwise, he's capable of playing in such games and performing at the highest level, then I'll take it. But let's see what the manager does. That's how I got picked. I've ended my sentences 100 million times during the length of this particular show. Felix will score today. Don't worry, boys. He's just been very unlucky. That's the truth. But is he going to be able to perform in a very defensive-minded team? Is he going to be effective against the physical side? That's the question I want to ask. I hope if he starts and scores, I'll take it. But he's been quite unlucky in terms of getting goals. Do you think we're seeing N'Golo Kante today, or does Chelsea have saving for Champions League? Even if you're saving him for Champions League, it's important that he starts getting minutes here and there. Otherwise, he's going to be match rusty, if that makes sense. But that's, by the way, good question there. I think he gets a few minutes today, given everything we've heard. Plus, somebody said that he started training with his teammates 2 weeks ago or a week ago or so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let's see what happens. Didn't Mudryk play down the middle last time? I think he did. It was a mix of positions. I think you could say, yes, Tim. I think it was fluid. It was fluid. None of them. I didn't think any of them were static on the day. I think they were rotating positions, if that makes sense. But it seemed like he was effective when he came centrally too, which some people are arguing he's probably our best number 9 right now. To be honest, maybe the front three should be Felix Havertz and Mudryk. Nani might be more effective against a low block than Mudryk. Yep. But Mudryk is also a fine dribbler, honestly. But Mudryk, Nani plays on the right hand side, and Nani is a fine dribbler. He likes to can drive at the ball, but he has to be taxed more to drive vertically and not drive inwards on occasions, if that makes sense. On occasions that I've seen him drive the ball, he tends to go horizontal. If he hits again, even though he will beat the man, but he still goes horizontal and not go vertical. So, but that's the manager's job to observe that and say you need to drive more forward, more vertical with the ball rather than calmer inwards. If that makes sense, I think that's the manager's. If he observed that, I think Nani, yeah, like you said, I think he will be more effective playing against a low block team. It's not going to be Ziyech will be useless in this game. Nani is the guy, but let's see if Felix gets a chance. But I think he will make if Felix doesn't start this game, it will make sense to me because he's not the most physical, and Nani is physical. He can be physical. You can muscle him off the ball easily. If that makes sense. Don't play for Fana, please. He will get injured. Don't risk him or risk James. Really? Fawale Nemaya, how you doing? Nemaya, today you're using your mom's phone again. I would start Dacho Fofana because Everton would be physical, and Feud is not. I think it makes sense. Danso, Kofi Kwayi Danso, I'm guessing you're a Ghanaian brother here. Who can come on? Can come on in the second half when they are tired, so he can win us lots of fouls. Maybe you mean Felix? I think maybe that's a good suggestion right there. But Dr. Fofana, do I think he will even be in the squad today? I don't know. I'd be surprised if he is. Kante is going to get at least 10 minutes today as part of the process to bring him in up to speed. Yep, it makes sense. And Ezra, I hope you're doing well. Wing backs need to be able to finish with this formation, but Chilwell doesn't press good enough either. Well, okay, but at least I think he's starting to show that form that he showed before he got injured, putting good balls into the box and doesn't hesitate. I think he will go a long way for us. I remember a time when teams had to adjust their tactics and personnel to play us. I am not a fan of making too many changes. Hopefully, we are building a team that can smash that 15 goals conceded records. I hope so. JC Datu Fofana is starting today in the reserve team, so which means definitely he's not going to be part of this squad. Actually, so he will definitely be definitely not be in the main team. Yeah, no, let them rest Wesley Fofana. Let's see what he does. Yep, a good shout there. Correction. So he will definitely not be in the main team. Yeah, I understood that was what you were gonna what you wanted to communicate there. Thank you for 63 likes. It doesn't look like we're gonna make it to 100 likes today, but that's fine. But again, we're doing well. Thank you so much for all the support. If you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Felix, yeah, okay, let's see. Felix go today. Kim so says, let's see that happen. That's interesting, Coachella. You bench Felix today. Yeah, I'd bench him. Because I suspect he's going to struggle against the physicality of the Everton midfield because they will all be dropping deep to defend. Even with their defense right now as it is, he will struggle against Kane. Tarkowski is a very physical player. So if they defend deep, plus these guys, 1, 2, 3, joining them in the defense, he has a problem. He has to be able to take shots outside the box to score goals. So finding spaces will be very difficult for him. So if he starts, the manager knows the reason why he's going to start him, but let's see what happens. If he starts and does well, I'll take it. But I think he will not be as effective as, let's say, we're playing Liverpool where we have a high line and they will try to attack us. They're not going to defend deep and all that. There's there will be lots of space for him to exploit if we're playing Liverpool. But against these guys, I think he will struggle. That's how I see it. Fluid front three is the best way forward. Yep, I think so. Noni is physically more suitable. Yep, that's how I see it. So, but I don't know. Maybe he'd be a bit sentimental and end up starting starting Felix. I don't know because of his experience. Maybe that would be the case. I'm not quite sure what the man would do. Just give me a second. I'm gonna take care of something here real quick. I'm also checking for updates as we do this. Let's see. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, what else do we have to talk about here? We've had the debate with regards to who pays Enzo Fernandez so we can have balance and be able to deal with the physicality of the Everton three-man defensive midfield. If you haven't seen that, it is Amadou Onana, Idrissa Gueye, and Abdullahi. I think Abdullahi. Is it Abdullahi? Yeah, Abdullahi Gueye, Decore. Those are three very physical players. Whether this will be good enough, I don't know. Yeah, so if you're in the chat right now, I want to get your thoughts. What type of a game do you expect to see? And our selection so far is Kepa between the sticks, Koulibaly centrally in the back three. To his right, Wesley Fofana, who's been excellent. Badiashile on the left, I think he comes in to that. At least that's how I see it, to help the team deal with the Everton's physicality and aerial threat. Two sixes, Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez. We agree. Graham Potter hardly plays with traditional sixes, so I'd be surprised if he changes anything there to accommodate a six that would be more defensively minded than the two players we're looking at here. Ben Chilwell, left wing back is if I get it that there's a chance Kukurea starts there if Ben Chilwell starts there. If he doesn't start in the left centre back position, James keeps his place. Where we have questions is here. Mudryk to the left of whoever starts centrally, Havertz to his right because they will feel like he's done better there. So let's see. So now who starts centrally? We have Joao Felix, and we have who else that could start there also. We also have Datri Fofana is playing for the under-20s for the youth team, so wouldn't be in the first team. So we have what's his name? Felix can start here. Who else can start here if it's not Felix? Yeah, Aubameyang can start there. Yeah, Aubameyang can start there. I get it, he's not pace, but he's good on the ball. And Aubameyang is capable of dropping deep and participating in the play. He can also help create space for his teammates. So Aubameyang will make a good. Again, I'd rather Aubameyang in this game than Felix. I get it, Felix is a fine player, but this is the sort of game I believe he struggles. If he starts and does well, I would take it, really. And you see, Coach Felix also missed games due to red card. Do we have statistics about what Chelsea ended up paying a lot of people per game? Must be pretty expensive to pay goal per game. Again, woodwork indeed. I get it. But he's been effective in his own way, really, if that makes sense. Starting Kante for me is a no. No, he's not going to start. It's a no. Abba says Francis Abba. Francis Abba, I like your name. He should come in the second half, play like 15 to 20 minutes or so, or even less. The manager knows how fit he is. We don't know. Has Mount pulled out of the England squad? I am very skeptical about the club up prop on him. I think he pulled out. I heard something similar to that. Let me see if I can find any news on that so we can elaborate on that. I think he pulled out. I'm not sure if it was the manager, Southgate, that asked him, that exempted him from the squad. I'm not sure what the case is. But if you're well acquainted with the situation, please educate us. I really would like to know. So thank you for 67 likes, 3 more to get it to 70. It doesn't look like we'll get to 100 as soon as possible. But 67 is actually good. It's you people are absolute legends. Let's get it to 70 as soon as possible. I'm not sure. I'm trying to find out. Pulisic is also available. Yeah, for sure. Gallagher has a shot outside the box. Yep, which was why if he plays closer to the final third, I think he's capable of getting more goals than Mason Mount, actually. Yeah, like I said, he has an eye for goals. Let's see who we have out here. They have Nathan, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. What an aerial threat from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They have out Andres Townsend. He's a good player for them, but I would have been concerned with Calvert-Lewin being available. And to us, we still have a list of injured players. Broya, his case, we know about that. Aspilicueta, concussion, doubtful. But most likely be on the bench. Edouard Mendy, broken finger. I think he'd be on the bench. I suspect he started full training. Mason Mount, hip injury, early April. So Mason wasn't going to be ready for this game. So probably may have pulled out of the England game due to the hip injury and will be back early April. So it wouldn't make sense for him to be part of the England squad with a hip injury, which stays his state. With clearly here, we're seeing that he's going to be back early April. Aubameyang, back injury. So Aubameyang probably is doubtful, so which means there's a chance he'll be part of the squad. Raheem Sterling, early April. So Raheem Sterling is out of this game. Thiago Silva, mid-April. So we don't have. Pulisic has a chance, but I don't think he starts this game. Um, yeah. So Mason Mount, if he pulls out, he may well be due to the injury. Okay, I'm trying to see if I see anything with regards to him pulling out of the game. Chelsea haven't lost to Everton. Just some stats here. Chelsea haven't lost to Everton at home in the Premier League since 1994. I hate it when I see such statistics really, because usually when that happens, it gets me scared. I have to be honest. As much as I get it, it's a good thing. But once I see such that Charity FC factor comes to mind, and boy, I dread that. It's a phenomenon, and believe me, it's well and truly in existence. If that makes sense. Yes, he pulled out, so probably because of the injury, not for anything else. If that makes sense. Let me see if I see any other news. The other one is this. Is it Claudio Kone? Kone's club, Gladbach, knows that they will lose him this summer unless something crazy happens. There are talks now between the sporting director, Roland Vicus, and Kone's management discussing how much would be on the table for selling him. A crazy amount, like, let me see something here. A crazy, selling him crazy amount like 40 to 50 million euros. That's not crazy, and we want him. We've paid 100 million plus for 20-year-old, 22 or 21-year-old. PSG is interested. The player is French. We heard that Chelsea knocked on the door and had an interest in him. I don't think he's focused purely on the league. Okay, let's see. But let's move on from now. And I'm searching for something with regards to Mount's situation, but I haven't seen anything with Mount's situation. So we move on from that one. What do we have here? I think we can put Icardi on Martins from Galatasaray on the 10th place. Mauro Icardi for Chelsea. For our predicted lineup for the game Chelsea will play in a few hours today, I think you're probably trolling. That's by the way. Sorry, guys. Let me see. What's this? It's the most bizarre thing. The Mount has been allegedly injured for the last few games, but it's fit enough for England. I think he's pulled out. I think somebody said he's pulled out. I haven't seen anything online. If he has a back injury, was that a back injury? What did this say? Where's Mason Mount? Hip injury early April, and we're not in April yet, so it makes sense for him to pull out. So I wouldn't question whether they were lying or not. So it makes sense for him to pull out. Allegedly for the last few games, but it's fit. No, I don't think that's the case. Wait, Sterling around? No, he's not. It's not. Raheem Sterling thigh injury early April, and we're still in March, if that makes sense. So he's not available. Other than that, if you have any questions, if you're in the chat and you have any questions, shoot it. Otherwise, we'll call it a day because we still have we're going to do the pregame show and also probably a watch along, or most likely a watch along. That was what manager said. That Henry Alex. I want to know. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. What manager said what? Can you elaborate? But that's, by the way, it was pain in the lower abdomen for Mount. Now they're saying what was that we looked at again? Now they're saying Mount again, a hip injury. So yeah, maybe that's I don't know. I'm not a doctor by any stretch of imagination. Maybe that's where the whole. I'm not sure. Let me not just talk about it because I'm not a doctor or a medical expert. If that makes sense. Did I hear Icardi here? Yes, sir. I'm shocked. I was shocked to see that much. I don't know. Maybe the person is trolling. Maybe he thinks we're building the future lineup. I'm sure he's talking about the Argentine international Mauro Icardi, but put him there in the Chelsea lineup. We're not talking about future lineup here. What I am lost in conversation. I thought we were talking about Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea lineup. Big up Kachila and everyone in the chat. Big up to you, my brother DJ. Pop, pop, pop. Gunshot for you, bro. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate that. Mount is said to have a problem. Please don't do that to me. Please, I beg you. I literally, I beg you, do not do that to me. Kindly, not do that to me. JC, let's see what we have here about to be out of the England squad. Okay, it makes sense. If he's injured, why keep him? It doesn't make sense. They have a lot of players. So but that's, by the way, anything else anybody else wants us to talk about? Otherwise, we're going to call it a day. We have the lineup from the back: Kepa between the sticks, Koulibaly centrally, in the back three to his right Fofana, Badiashile to his left. And the argument, speaking of Badiashile, is this: his tall and good aerially and will help us deal with Everton's aerial threat, if that makes sense. And the two sixes are Kovacic, Captain Kovacic, and Enzo Fernandez. Right wing back, Rich James. Left wing back, Ben Chilwell. Centrally, we haven't actually picked who starts here. Yeah, if Felix isn't starting, who starts here? I'm guessing I'm just going to plug in Felix there. Because all the option would have been Kai Havertz starting centrally and Noni Mudryk is starting to his right. And I think Noni Mudryk starts this game. But who do you think starts here, given the players who selected? I think Felix, but I don't think he works. But let's see. Kachila, what's happened at the panelists on strike? No, I don't think so. People are busy. People have other obligations. They're not obliged to be here. They're not paid. So yeah, and so nobody demands that they come. It's something they do for fun because they love the club. Everybody is. A lot of people are working. So yeah, it's nothing. But I enjoy interacting with you. So that's why we have more than 25 panelists. So I don't see all of them conniving to say, let's go on strike and have coach do with the loans. No, I am enjoying it, really, to be honest. I enjoy interacting with you. People are busy, like I said, and it's no obligation to anybody. But that's a funny question to Coach. This is not a joke. According to other channels, it's a public bone injury. What? Pubic bone injury. I am not making it up. I don't even know what that is. Maybe I need to Google it, look it up later. I don't know what sort of injury that is, really. I have to be honest with you. I'm not going to pretend I know what I don't know. So, but I'm going to look it up later. But the way you did put it sounds like it's not a good, it's something that's going to be, let me check really quickly. Really? Okay, I'm going to move on from that. I see you in the evening, coach. Good luck to the team. One final thought. Any predictions for the score line, please? I think we're going to concede from set piece, but I think we're going to win 2-1. That's what I think. And I don't want to jinx it. I've stopped predicting because it looks like every time I think we're going to win by a certain score line, we lose. But I'm able to predict. Even World Cup score lines, I'm able to predict them correctly and who makes it out of the group and who not going to make it out of the group. But I don't know really. Let's see what happens. Going to the match later, Kachila. We'll try and jump on at halftime. If you doing the live stream, yes, we're gonna do a pregame show and then we're gonna do a watch along. So if we can show the players warming up during the pregame show, that will go a long way. If you can, if you have time, and if you want to come on, fine. If you want to come on during halftime, fine, bro. You know, much love. You're an OG here. Much love to you, and I respect you. Thank you so much for saying that. Not a complaint, great show. Yep, here's the thing. I enjoy us having multiple variations of opinions on the panel because if we're not dealing with facts, whatever we say is opinion. But at the same time, I enjoy interacting with people in the chat. They're the most important people. The panelists are also equally important, but I'd say the most important people are those that watch there. Over 3.5. Over 3.5 what? Can you explain, elaborate what you're saying there? Okay, I'm seeing Jesse saying he's going to join for the evening show. Nice to see. Just give me 1 second. Like Jesse said, he can join in the evening. Probably no work at that time. Everybody's busy and nobody's on schedule. Nobody, they don't earn anything from it. So yeah, nobody's. It's not an obligation. But that's why we're looking forward to it. With that, guys, we've come to the natural end of the show. Thank you. We finally made it to 70 likes. Bless you too, brother, and thank you so much. We've made it to 70 likes. Believe me, it's been an excellent show. It's been an enjoyable show. I love interacting with you guys. So thank you so much. I'm going to say thank you to JC for being part of the excellent show, my brother Bobby Fairview, and also for all the suggestions. And I appreciate you reminding me to schedule the draw watch along. And we got a few subscribers from that, and the view was a total of 3,000 plus views. So thank you so much for that. Rodrigo is a top analyst. See if he can join it to assess the lineup. He joins whenever time allows, and I love him. I respect him so much. He's part of the panelist group, and we always join whenever he has time. Yeah, he's a busy guy, and in most cases, if you pay attention, he joins from work. If you pay attention, he joins from work. And usually, sometimes struggles to stay on. And if calls coming, he leaves. And DJ, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. The beautiful game, thank you for finding the time to join the show. Everyone else, Henry, Alex, who else was here? Nehemiah, Fowale, Ezra, and who? Abba, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And Kim So, and if I missed your name, apologies, I'm only human. Let's see what you say here. Coach, maybe you know Greenwood turned out to be innocent of the charges. Would you like to see him at Chelsea? It's not up to me. Whether he's innocent or not, it's really not up to me. But Chelsea tend to shy away with players with such history, if that makes sense. And is his case really the fact that he's innocent? If he was innocent, he wouldn't have gone to jail in the first place. But I'm into giving people second chances, but knowing Chelsea fully well, except if the culture has changed, maybe they want to give him a chance. But I think Manchester United, they're prepared to give him a chance. Really, I think so. At least that's how I think. With that, we've come to the end of the show. Again, see you guys next time. God bless us all. Let me see what DJ has to say. Come on, DJ. Why you gotta do this to me? As always, great stream from when I came in. However, I don't doubt the show was excellent as always. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Always nice to hear you say that. So with that, we've come to the end of the show. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye. What?